Hey, wrestling fans, this is Rick Blade telling you to tune in with BJ, DG, best wrestling talk on YouTube.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. DJ here, DJ over there.
I'm
Jeff
somewhere
over
around here.
I'm lost right now.
Well, aren't we all
J.J.
after
Abrams
last
reference.
night's Elimination Chamber? And congratulations on getting J.J. Abrams to produce your cam feed for this evening. What's up to everybody in chat? House of Cluck, you never quit birding, and I'm the only one that gets that on here. Captain Heel, how you doing? While everybody's getting into the chat, how was everybody's
and he froze.
There we go.
Oh, here we go. All right. Well, I don't know where I.
How was
What's
everybody?
up, everybody? While everybody's getting. Yeah. How was everybody's week? We got a 2
BJ's
thumbs up.
Yes. Sure, 2 thumbs up. Thumb and a half.
Nope. I gotta keep it PG this evening until we get to a part where it's worth going PG-13.
Oh yeah, we definitely got PG-13 this week.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody's excited. But before we start, we'll be talking about the Elimination Chamber and everything leading up to each match throughout the week. We're hoping to get into some NXT because there were some interesting developments there, especially with the TNA crossover. And we have a new segment to introduce this week where we will get everybody's match of the week. And there we go.
All right.
Graphics and all, splashy.
Yeah, man. We gotta try to look professional, right? Jeez. Except here's the thing, though. It really looks like it's like a hostage letter.
Yeah.
That's intentional, right? Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, though,
That's
so
amendment
I guess we should get started here, huh?
Let's get started right off the top here with this insane night at Elimination Chamber that we had. Turning your heel. Turning your heel seems to be a thing that's going around all the time nowadays, doesn't it? So,
yeah.
Let's just start right off at the top of this Elimination Chamber with this women's Elimination Chamber match. You got the 4 women in the box. You got Alexa Bliss. You got Bianca Belair. The other 2 that were in the box started Roxanne Perez and
Alexa Bliss.
I said Alexa right at the top because, of course, I'm going to say Alexa Bliss right at the top. Alexa, Bianca, Roxy, and
Naomi.
Naomi and Liv were out there to start together.
Well, let's see. Hold on. Yeah. Well,
Bailey.
That's who we're forgetting.
Yeah, there we go.
Oh, BJ's girl. Sorry about that, buddy.
Oh,
I picked her. Where's Heel Mark? Heel Mark, where are you?
But before this match could even really get started, we had the first big surprise of the night with Jade Cargill returning. And she's storming out to the ring. Obviously, she's going to get her retribution on the woman who wronged her so many months ago and put her out. She goes right in the ring. Liv Morgan is looking so scared. And Jade goes and attacks Naomi. So, Bianca stuck in there. Stuck in the pod. Bianca's confused. Everyone's just looking around. What is going on here? Jade takes Naomi straight out of the Elimination Chamber. Jade is back big time, and she is royally pissed, rightfully so. So, what do we think?
Camera work.
Oh yeah.
How long have I been calling for Jade's return last night? It to happen. I've been calling for a little bit of it now, and even leading up throughout the week.
She had to recover from her injuries first.
Well, no. Well, this what we were seeing on TV while she was gone. We started seeing like a little teases of them dropping, who did it, this and that. And then, as I have said in previous episodes, I expected them to lose the tag team titles to Liv and Raquel anyway.
Mhm.
which, by the way, that was a great match
Oh yeah.
on Raw this week. That women's tag
Yep.
team championship match. But back to it, we get to the beginning of this chamber match, and the bell rings, and then Jade's music hit.
Yep. So it was officially started, and does Jade officially get the elimination in this match, or does it officially go to Liv? How does that get scored? I'm curious.
She was unable to compete, therefore she was eliminated due to outside attack. But
And there we go.
wow, like the beating that Jade put on her was insane. And on top of that, to backtrack just a little bit, Jade getting in the ring, the look on Liv's face.
Oh yeah.
And
Liv
as the
just saying,
camera
I didn't do
pans,
it. It wasn't me.
you see Naomi look back at Bianca like, did you know? Like,
Mhm.
like you saw the look on her face, and they tried to clip off of it real quick.
But they wanted that little hint of Naomi
Yeah.
looking a little scared.
And then you see Liv saying, it wasn't me. And as Jade is getting in, right before she steps through the rope, she's like, I know it wasn't you.
Yep.
And
You saw Jade
just
say that.
The whole thing that sticks out to me isn't just the beating. It was Bianca's reaction inside the chamber that she should win an Oscar for.
Mhm.
Like, and then just that, and just added to the moment of,
Yep.
wow, nobody knew she was. They didn't know she was coming back.
Yeah, they had no idea that she was coming back. She surprises everyone. She takes Naomi out and then lives there just waiting for the first competitor to enter. And we get that door, and it was Bailey was the first one to come in, correct?
Let's see. After Jade's attack, Bianca came in next, right
Yep,
after that.
it was Bianca, right.
Yeah, then Bianca runs to the door because they're putting Naomi on a stretcher. And
Right.
that's another thing there, right? Her first reaction wasn't just to go for the match and compete in the match. She went to go check on Naomi. Like, are we
Yeah.
kind of cluing in that there's more to this story than we think?
Maybe.
I've been saying it from the start. I wouldn't be surprised. Jade stealing the spotlight.
Well, Jade, like, I feel like Naomi, this all comes down to Naomi being jealous and taking Jade out because she was Bianca's friend first, and she and Bianca were supposed to win the tag titles, not Jade and Bianca. So Naomi got jealous, took Jade out, put herself in Jade's spot. I feel like that's where this has been going the whole time.
I mean, yeah, but I feel like that you could do a little more with this story, and just the idea that just because Bianca was in a match when Jade was found doesn't mean that before the match that it wasn't Bianca and Naomi. Because you get to the end of this match, Bianca wins.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Bianca takes it, and she is going to be going up against Rhea at WrestleMania. But yeah, in the meantime, we had some pretty good showings out of the ladies in this match. There were, not the biggest match of the night, I don't think, but it was pretty good. Yeah. BJ, what were your thoughts about some of this? What was that?
It had its moments. I wouldn't say it was match of the night, but it definitely had its moments. It was a great way to open up the show. Both the surprise and the actual match itself. It was all for it. Especially the face-off after the match was very nice.
And especially with Io coming out. Because we still tomorrow night have a World Women's Championship match on Raw to determine who Bianca will be facing.
Yes, to determine who. Because it's not sure that it's Rhea. It could be Io.
Or for all we know, it could become a triple threat match and Roxanne Perez wins it. Who knows?
that hair whip. Oh my god.
That sounded like a gunshot.
Yeah. Not just the sound, but like the aftermath.
Yeah.
By the end of the match.
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
we were
she's
at,
gonna
we
be
were at
hurting.
work with fans going, and we heard that whip.
Yeah, like doing dishes and everything, noise all over the kitchen, and you still heard it just ring through.
Oh yeah. Ah. So,
But
so yeah,
that there were a lot of good moments in that match. Liv Morgan surprisingly was the most experienced woman in that chamber going into it. They show a graphic at the beginning. She's, I think, been in every women's elimination chamber since they started, which I think includes the one that they did for the women's tag team championships.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, okay. Who was her? Oh, was it Liv and Raquel then, or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And also, congratulations to Liv and Raquel on winning those women's tag team championships for a record
Yeah,
third
Liv and-
time.
yeah.
Liv and Raquel. I mean, they've been on and off, but they've been dominant when they're on.
Oh, and I can't wait to talk about this shortly. Oh, Heel Mark, we've
We'll
missed
get
you.
there.
We said your name and you finally appeared. You get the Joe Hendry clap for that. But yeah, this match, we saw not as much storytelling as I would say the cross between, like, in the men's chamber. We could kind of see where things are going coming out of that, which we
we'll
will
get there.
talk about more.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
So, but the women's you had a little bit of wrap up for a couple of storylines. I feel like the whole Liv and Bianca, Naomi, that whole tag situation, that has been just ended right there, because now you've got this whole Jade and Naomi, and where's Bianca in this whole situation? So those tag titles, they are completely out of the mix for those three ladies right now. They've got their own thing working, and Bianca's got her own thing going into WrestleMania even, but she is still in the middle of all that. So that's one storyline ending, one other one taking off going into Mania. And as far as the rest of the women's, Alexa, she seemed to be a little bit miffed about Liv Morgan rolling her up and putting her
Thanks
out.
for stopping
She
by,
seemed-
Heel Mark.
So yeah, I think Alexa might have a little bbit of something going after her old tag partner there, and Liv.
I did the other thing that stuck out to me during that attack with Jade, where she's taking out Naomi, was even Alexa had a reaction to it. Like, she seemed blank but interested in what was going on.
Like, curious.
Yeah. Like, it was just really interesting getting those reactions as well, because even Bailey was in shock.
So I did hear a theory on that moment on another YouTube show that I would reference, but I don't remember which one it was. The theory was pretty much seeing that unlocked something in Alexa, because what do the Wyatt Six do? They punish those who turn on their friends. So seeing that happen in front of her, Alexa, like, it clicked. You know, that unlocked even darker Alexa, or whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing where Alexa's story is going from here. I've been waiting for her to come back ever since she left to go do the motherhood thing, and we have her back, and let's see where this character's going now.
The one thing
And
I
it's
can
not
say,
just me wanting the Wyatts to come back. It's not just that. I mean, they're
No,
definitely angling it that way.
Oh yeah, yeah, with all the glitches and everything, yeah.
you know, another thing I could see coming out of this too, as maybe just foreshadowing for the future, is something between maybe Alexa Bliss and Roxanne Perez.
Yeah. I think
Like,
Alexa
I
would
feel
be
like
good.
they would be a good pairing.
Yeah, definitely. Roxy could get some experience from Alexa and learn some valuable things, and I think Alexa could definitely bring a great match out of Roxy.
Especially in the Wyatt sense, Roxy being as good of a heel as she is, could definitely play that.
Yes.
And I think would do really good in that.
I just got to say, BJ, this witness protection lens flare that you got going on right now.
Thank you, by the way,
I
JJ
gotta-
Abrams.
I gotta wait for the sun to go down. It's there. I'm just trying to like have it in front of my eyes for some reason.
I love it.
Man, it's called a curtain,
I don't have a
bro.
mustache. What are you talking
Yes.
about?
Just don't get it by your throat. That might hurt.
I can't get
All
up that high anyway.
But yeah, we get Bianca Belair finally putting it off to finishing Liv, who looked great in that match, by the way.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She was
Absolutely.
booked to be a star in that match.
Oh yeah,
Took a beating.
Yeah, and Triple H even said in the press conference afterwards that Liv Morgan over the past year has just had some of the most impressive progress and just been doing some of the best work in the company. Period, men or women. So, if he's saying that and we're all seeing it, then yeah, that's the right track for her to be on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All
Agreed.
right. So, what do you say we slide on to this next match, the women's tag match between Nia Jax and the Poison Pixie Candice LeRae against the women's champion Tiffany Stratton and the hometown girl, the Hall of Famer Trish Stratus. This was just one of those fun matches. You're going to have Trish Stratus show up in Toronto because hometown crowd, hometown pop. You get that out of them. And of course, this is just going to be the feel-good match of the night where everything goes right for the team that everyone wants to win. So, Danger
Yeah.
Ginger, what was the main takeaways that you got out of this match as far as where the storyline's been, where it's going, if there's anything more to do with this storyline, really, even with Tiffany and Nia?
I think that the Tiffany Nia thing is done, but maybe I could see a potential Trish and Nia thing coming out of it. But otherwise, for me, the match was okay. Like, if I'm looking at ranking the matches, that as at the bottom of the rankings of the night for just the matches, not including what happens
by
after
default.
the main event chamber match.
Yeah.
It was what I expected it to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
It wasn't, I had just finished watching it not long ago, rewatching it back, and it was what I expected it to be. It wasn't nothing over the top. It's to make sure that you have Tiffany something to do that didn't involve Charlotte.
Mm-hmm.
And to get that one thing out of the way, and pairing her and Trish together might have been just a Trish call, because you could have paired almost anybody, but it just made sense for it to be Tiffany to go up against Candice and Nia.
Yeah. Well, you want to have your champ on the show, so that was a good way to get her there, pair her up with Trish, and they came out looking great in the blue and white, the Maple Leafs colors. So obviously they've formed a coherent enough team to get the win tonight.
Yeah, nothing wrong with the match whatsoever. Like, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
It was a good match. It was exactly what I expected. Nothing special. There were a couple good spots. The a senton spot or whatever, breaking up the pinfall, was pretty good. But just most of it was what I expected, and I knew it would be the one match looking at the card that might not hold my attention. And that's just because there's not that I'm not interested in it. It's just there's not enough there knowing that everything else is so story driven to where this match was thrown together 3 weeks ago.
You look at that card, it's the filler match.
Yeah.
But having said that, they did an excellent job. You throw a legend in there in the hometown, you know what I mean? You get the crowd to pop. It did its job.
Yeah. Yeah, the match was exactly what it was supposed to be, considering what the rest of the night holds. So they had to give them a breather at some point.
Yeah.
And that was probably the best point to do it.
Yeah, there was no other breathing room on this entire match.
But I agree with the match order of the card and everything.
Oh, yeah.
What matches were where. Like, I agree 100%.
My only concern last week was the idea of the Rock Cody segment ending the show because of the idea that you might not want anything given away, right? But the way they did it and which we will talk more about
Oh
shortly.
yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, but the way they did it and the transition to it was smooth. It made sense. It worked.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, that's what I can say just about that at the moment. But I guess next for us to talk about was the unsanctioned match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, which, by the way,
Brutality.
shout outs to Michael Cole, WWE, and whoever else is in charge of the commentary thing for shouting out the death match between El Generico and Kevin Steen from their old Ring of Honor days. Like,
Yeah.
that was I'm at work. I heard that. I almost fell to the ground. Like, I'm like, did
I
they
saw it.
just mention a death match on WWE TV?
It's a
Yep.
new day and age.
Yeah. Also, another first in WWE, the referee was in street clothes. He was not in the standard WWE referee attire last night due
Because
to the
it
fact
was-
that it was
yeah.
an unsanctioned match. So
This
just-
match had a lot of big spots in it. Wow.
yeah. How could it not? This was
The blue
This-
thunder bomb-ish looking move through the first table around the arena, and then that second one.
The 2 table spot.
yeah.
Yeah.
BJ, when this match finally just came to its end, and Kevin Owens is standing there, and did you think that he was going to just completely try and end Sammy's career right then and there?
I mean, there was like no signs of remorse. Yeah, yeah, he was going for it.
Yeah. So, and then from out of nowhere, we get voices in our head.
Yeah, I've had those voices in my head for 3 damn months now. It's about time.
Yep. And they came out. Randy Orton
Boy,
back.
like there's
And
just
he was-
so much that happened even before that in that match. Like the punishment Sammy took in that match. Like even after the match, because there's a lot that happened. There's several of things that happened leading up to that. The power bombs on the apron, which we haven't
yeah.
seen out of Owens in a while, and he
On
did them
Sammy's
what,
neck.
twice, 3
Yeah,
times.
on Sammy's already injured neck.
Yeah, then he gets him back in the ring, continues doing whatever, and then the next thing we know, we have officials out trying to break it up.
Mhm.
And then he goes to he rips up the mats at ringside to set up for the package pile driver, which then cue the
Cue Randy.
return
Yeah, that was
of the legend
prob-
killer, the apex
Yes.
predator, RKO Randy Orton.
So happy to see that. It was perfect timing. Sammy definitely was about to have his career ended by KO when Randy comes out and ends that threat to, well, it doesn't end the threat, but temporarily neutralizes the threat.
Now it's funny we're talking about this. Oh no, turn down. Is that I was rewatching the show before we started, and where I paused at was Randy Orton's return, and he's coming out on the screen right now.
Nice. Of course, we can't show that because copyright laws.
Yeah, that's why I had to turn it down as quick as I did.
I didn't hear nothing.
I ain't
Actually, I
see.
think that's fine in post. Like, as long as you're not doing that, like playing the audio live, it's okay.
Yeah. I hear no voices
I don't-
in my
I'll have to look
head.
at that.
They don't talk to me. But yeah, man, that there was like both returns at Elimination Chamber were something special that had something behind it. Yeah.
Yeah, there was big impact with Jade coming back, and there's big impact with Randy coming back. We know this is setting up for Randy versus KO at Mania. The question is,
Yeah.
what type of match is it going to be? BJ,
Yeah.
what's your prediction for the match type?
I mean, anything's possible. It could be last man standing, or it could be hell And so it could be anything. You know what I mean? Like the possibilities are endless. Like
Kevin
just go on
Owens
WWE
and
2K
Randy
and,
Orton.
scroll
I
through
mean,
the options.
KO Orton, Hell in a Cell.
Hmm.
Like, I mean, let's just
But-
think of the general idea of the violence that Owens has been doing. The violence of these matches
hello?
recently with him.
Hey, what's up there, Milky?
Milky, what's going on, buddy?
So-
But now here's something that kind of upset me, but I'm okay with it because I have a feeling we'll see it at some point, probably at Mania. Was when Orton was setting up for, like, they're showing it now. He's about to hit him with a chair, but instead drops the chair, shows like signs for the punt kick, goes back, and then every official that was at ringside hit
Just
that ring
intervenes,
so fast.
yeah. Yep.
And when was the
Oh, yeah.
last time we even saw Randy actually hit a punt kick on someone?
They said on commentary it had been years at that point.
At
since
least
they-
a decade at this point?
Yeah, they didn't have an exact time that they said, but they said it had been years since the punt kick had actually been hit by Randy in a match. So, yeah, that was definitely every official coming in between to prevent that from happening. But I feel like we get it at Mania.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. This is at WrestleMania. This could be a night one match, I think. You know, but I wouldn't
Iron
be
Man.
surprised to see it an Iron Man match. Oh, I don't know.
No, I don't think Iron Man suits this. That doesn't feel like
No.
a 60-minute multi-fall match.
No, definitely
True,
not.
yeah.
No,
Hey,
I
maybe
think-
what if we get a WWE version of a death match? The idea that
well,
got
we had that
mentioned,
last night.
no, but the idea that we got what would be any type of street fight style match. A death match is a whole nother level of violence. And who better than Randy Orton, who we know can go like that?
And KO, who
Those
we also know
poor
can go like
security
that.
guards. Especially that last one where he goes like, no, I'm not going to RKO. Bam, RKO. Like, you sucker.
Yeah, no. Oh, he knew he was getting RKO'd, even when he was getting his hand shook.
He was
Yeah.
like, this is a mistake. I know it is, but
He probably
Yeah,
made good
no.
money for that.
Oh,
yeah,
yeah,
he got a
definitely.
couple slices of pizza.
But yeah,
Got
so
to get free catering.
you know, I kind of want to lean right now probably to Hell in a Cell.
See,
Like,
my
as
thing
being
about
the
that.
match.
See, I feel like they save Hell in a Cell matches for the specific Hell in a Cell branded
They're,
pay per view they have.
they're not doing there.
They're not doing that anymore.
They haven't done it
Okay.
since Vince left. I think the last one was the transition of rebranding everything, so it was already scheduled. So I think the last one was a year and a half, 2 years ago now.
Okay.
So now we don't see it. When was the last Hell in a Cell match? Punk and Drew.
Punk and Rollins.
Yeah, Punk and Drew.
Punk and Drew. Yes, Punk and Drew.
So even then they used it as a blow off match. Like it should
Or
be
was it-
saved.
Edge and Drew?
No, I think it
No,
was
Punk came
Punk
back
and Drew.
after.
It was either Punk and Drew or Punk and Rollins. I believe Punk and Drew.
Yeah, it was Punk and Drew.
So question here from Ryan. So are we thinking that Sammy's wrote off Mania? No.
No.
No, I think here we go. Something that wouldn't surprise me just because to add a little bit extra intrigue into it. What if that match turns into a triple threat match? Sammy, KO, and Randy.
I don't think so.
Why
I
not?
don't
There's
think
no
that-
reason for
because
Sammy and Randy to go at each
there's-
other.
But they
There's
both
no
want
beef there.
Owens. They both
But
want
there's no
Owens.
reason. Yeah, that
We've
then make it a
we've
handicap
seen-
match. There's
Yeah, but
Maybe Sammy's guest referee or like has-
No,
yeah, that makes more sense.
I don't think-
I think triple threat to where because now that causes so yes, they both want KO, but for them now that causes chaos because they both want KO. That's the story in the story. That's just another subplot to the bigger story that KO has now turned two people against him because Sammy was
But-
never a part of the whole bloodline thing till later. This all started with Randy and Cody. Sammy was
But
part of the story at that point. And after what
he was on Raw.
but after what KO was going to do to Sammy, that story's not done.
Might not be done, but I feel like that's adding too much. You want a straight shot into WrestleMania at this point. I think you just have
pretty.
you
I-
get the
but
KO,
that
you get
also-
Randy,
until after Mania.
But
and
now
then
making it
as
triple
Ryan
threat.
as Milky just brought up down there. I do like that for Sammy versus.
Oh, so do
Karrion.
I like
gives
that
you something
too.
for Karrion Cross,
But-
and he's been planting seeds at Sammy, so it makes sense there.
Karrion Cross is almost responsible for every heel turn that has happened in the WWE in the past 18 months. But
Correct.
let's be honest there. But what I was going to say, why I would make it a triple threat, because then you don't need to come up with a way of a gimmick to get the rules out of the match. Because now that it's a triple threat, there is no disqualification, there is no count out. You can use weapons. So that also allows you to up the violence for everything. I'm just saying, I can see a world where that story fits. That's all. But Sammy Karrion, Karrion, you could tell from Instagram posts and stuff that he's really been angling that.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I feel Sammy versus Karrion makes a lot of sense. They've been kind of laying groundwork for that. And also, I feel Sammy doesn't need to be inserted into this match.
I'm fine with that, but it's just looking at it as a way that KO has caused so much friction that now nobody cares what they have to do to get through him. And that kind of plays to the heel advantage of being able to cower his way out somehow. So if, there, like I said, a story there doesn't mean it's going to go that way, because from the beginning, I'm on board with one-on-one match, because I think there's too many teases at the moment of too many different multi-man matches that can happen at WrestleMania. Because I'm expecting a tag team multi-man match for one of the sets of tag team championships, and I'm expecting a multi-man match for the Intercontinental Championship with everything that's been happening with Braun Breaker recently. He's gotten in the face of AJ Styles. Him and Finn Balor got into each other's face this week.
Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah, you have that. Maybe Penta's inserted into that, like a ladder match.
Maybe you have a ladder match for the IC title at Mania.
Like, there's just...
Wow, here's our first derailment of the day.
That's not a derailment at all. That's just the conversation going naturally where it's going. But there's just so many little things that's happening, and we're going to get all that straightened out, because it's 48 days till WrestleMania now. So if anybody wants to marathon WrestleManias and go from 1 through, you probably should have started about a week ago.
You got
given the 2-night. I'm saying given the 2-night manias now. Yeah. If you're trying to do at least one a day, and of course, as we all know, that's what that would make it, a mark. Because I queued myself for it. But I like the idea of KO Randy Hell in a Cell. I do. Maybe a strap match?
Maybe. I lean towards my preference being last man standing because of the symbolism of it. Just the symbolism of having one man has to beat the other down to the point where they can't, and you get it to be like the Rocky 2 ending where the one wins by just barely standing up and then collapsing again right after 10 is said. That's
I can see it definitely going.
I mean, yeah. It all depends on what you're doing, probably with the main event matches still, because at some point now, I expect some tomfoolery rules to be thrown in to what we will be talking about shortly.
Sami Zayn in a shark cage match.
Shark cage.
Well, so now, how does that even fit? The triple threat
man goes in the cage, cage goes in the water, sharks in the water.
Do the sharks have laser beams?
Freaking laser beams.
I hope
now
so.
we're off the rails. But yeah, so now Wow, we're actually doing pretty good on time at the moment, considering we're a half hour into this. Well, there's only
How
4
about
that?
matches and a monster segment
Yeah.
to close the show. So let's get
All right.
into it. The men's elimination chamber. And wow, like if I was going to say something for this is one of the matches I did consider for match of the week for myself, which I can't wait to do that segment later. But this was a good match. And just props to CM Punk being that opponent on 2K with the computer on the hardest difficulty, that no matter how many finishers you hit him with, you just couldn't keep him down.
Yeah.
Like he was the MVP of the
Yeah.
men's chamber, just like Liv was the MVP of the women's chamber, in my
Yeah.
eyes.
Oh yeah, yeah. He took finishers from everybody in that thing. He was all over the place once he got in there.
Also, whoever put the light in CM Punk's pod and just wouldn't stay up there. Like, come on, man. You gotta do better than that. You can't have Punk playing handyman when he needs to be paying attention to what's going on.
I mean, we know these pods aren't the most, well-built structures by, design.
Just ask Mark
they,
Henry.
they are made to collapse relatively easily. So we've seen that more than one time.
So in this match, we had McIntyre's and Rollins starting. We had Priest, Cena, Paul, and Punk in the pods to start.
Yeah.
And
Jake Paul or Logan Paul, when he's in that pod, he just loves that Sharpie. This is not the first time he's been writing on the inside of the pod wall.
Full timer Logan Paul. Whoa.
Yes, full timer Logan Paul with the
that
balloons
would
and
you
everything.
mentioned Logan Paul and a party started. That seems like the most Logan Paul thing to happen.
Yes.
Well, that's how he felt
Milky,
after the chamber.
Milky has got a great point here. Logan is becoming undeniable pretty quick. His in-ring work is brilliant. Yeah, you
No
can't
argument,
deny that.
and I hate that. I admit that.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
his YouTube personality.
can't stand him.
Yeah, and it plays perfectly into the world of the WWE.
Yeah, he's
So
a
he's
perfect
been
really
manufacturing this heel character for his whole career, pretty much.
Yes, before his career even started.
And the fact
Yeah.
that he has picked up on not just the big things to do in the ring and the things you should do, but the little things. And you see it. There's little things that there are people in NXT right now who you could say are mid-card and get ready to push into that next level. And he's doing their things plus the other little things.
I mean,
And Milky used the right word, undeniable. You know what I mean? Like, but will we see? Do you think we'll see a day when Logan Paul turns face in WWE?
that's going to be tough with his YouTube personality.
You know
A
what?
lot
That's
of people
not just
legitimately hate him.
it's
a
not
lot of
just the
people do-
YouTube. Yeah, it's the Paul brothers in general, right?
Yeah,
But
a lot of
when
people
you look
legitimately
at it-
don't like them, self-included.
And-
So you don't think
I,
we'll
I
ever
will
see
not.
Logan Paul face turn?
And so
no.
it's funny
No,
we
he's
bring
too-
this up.
Yeah, he's too good as a heel.
It's funny we bring
Okay.
this
Well,
up
no, it makes
now
sense.
because now I want to propose this. This was a conversation that has been had on Busted Open the last week and a half on and off through the show. And that's the hate for like Charlotte Flair, right? Like think about the hate for Cena during some of the worst times in WWE. Not necessarily Cena's fault, but just the booking of Vince's fault, right? To
Right,
this
when he
not
was
make it
seen
interesting
as
because there
holding
was
down
no
other-
there was no other competition out there, so he could put on TV whatever he wants because he knows we're gonna watch it.
Right.
But so the question of like somebody like The Rock, a Charlotte Flair, people who are great and win all these championships or whatever and get booed, the Kansas City Chiefs.
Patriots.
The natural idea of hating greatness. You see people doing so good in whatever sport or thing they're in, is that now becomes something. You know, not the idea like Charlotte Flair, whether she's we know of the situation with that, but just the idea. We don't deny that she is great in the ring. That is one thing none of us have ever said. But the idea that it's just She's always there, but there's a reason. Whether we know it or not, there is a reason.
Yeah, her
So
last
just
name.
whatever it is, but you just go look at the accomplishments. Is it something to say that people just like to hate greatness? And that is something that the Paul brothers do fall into.
I don't agree with that.
I'm not sure that Jake Paul is great. He picks good fights for himself to win. He's great at that.
Here's how I look at them. I look at them when they're boxing as celebrity boxers. I don't look at them as legit boxers. But I will say this. I've seen enough of Jake Paul that I'm not saying he could go up against the current world champion in whatever division he's in. But I bet you if you started him at the bottom of the rankings, he'd build up there because the tools are there. But as we said, anytime that they fight, it's not about championships. It's about making money. And guess what greatness does? Greatness makes money. So in that term, I'm just saying that's how I fit them into that thing of the hate of greatness. Not just the idea that they come off as some of the crappiest people you would ever meet, but is that something to where that?
No, I think that's genuinely why people don't like them.
Because they are genuinely crappy people.
I don't think it has anything to do with them having ability or making money. No, people hate them because they're terrible. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they're trash people.
Yeah, they're trash people. It's not greatness that they hate.
But wouldn't it be though? Because they're doing something that those people hating them aren't doing.
No, they're trash people. We admit they have abilities, but they're trash people.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying that's what now you're talking about trash people doing greatness. That makes you hate them.
You
even
can have
more
skills, but be a
because of
trash
that.
person.
So somebody you don't like, there's a general personality person, whatever you hate, and then they're going on and doing things that you can't do, that you aspire to do and can't do as good as them, and they're nobodies and they're crappy people.
That's not what we're saying at all.
We're not saying greatness.
That is not our argument at all.
The term of greatness and being likable are interchangeable. Like you don't have to like somebody to hate their greatness, and you don't have to, and they don't have to be a crappy person or good person. People will still hate on the greatness of something, especially in sports.
But we're specifically saying that we hate on the Paul brothers because they are trash people, not because they have skills.
Oh yeah, and I agree 100%. I agree 100%.
And it's not so much hate; it's indifference.
Well, for me, it's hate.
Boo them in a match, yeah, but like otherwise, it's indifference. Like I don't care about them, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't follow them on social media or anything like that. But
I wouldn't.
And they don't give a crap about me.
If he wasn't a WWE superstar.
Yeah. I'm just saying, like you see these guys, like somebody like Logan Paul, doing boxing, and then all of a sudden he steps in a wrestling ring, and he's catching on faster than people who have been in the ring training for 6 to 7 years.
That's
like
fine. That's commendable. Doesn't change.
No, it's respectable, but that's still a sign of athletic greatness. LeBron James.
Oh yeah, no one said the
people like to hate greatness.
Not great athletes.
Well, no, the LeBron James argument, that's valid because he's actually a decent person. They just think he's great. The Paul brothers are trash. They don't do anything. They give nothing back to the world. LeBron James gives back education to the people.
But anyway, we all agree. We all agree that they're crappy people.
Is his first contribution to society.
Yes.
Yes. I mean, we all agree that the Paul brothers are crappy people. So at least we have that going for us.
Yes.
Now that we have gone off the rails, and you're welcome. But yeah, so. And I mean, I think Logan Paul did look good in the match. I thought that
he always looks good in his matches.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a good wrestler.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a good wrestler, trash person.
So. How about how Damian Priest just like practically rolls up Drew to eliminate him?
Yeah. And then gets eliminated by Logan Paul.
Yeah, well, that's because of a Claymore beforehand.
Yeah.
But,
we all know where the feud's going now.
Oh, yeah. Yep, we're getting Drew versus Priest at Mania, and that's going to be a hell of a match.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
which we've kind of expected since the Rumble, like.
Yeah.
They
Ever
started
since
that
people got in
there.
the way of storylines that were supposed to be starting at the Rumble. Milky, I'm sure it did. Sorry for your fellow Scotsman.
But yeah, that we got to see some more stuff between Punk and Paul, which I wouldn't mind if they have a match. I wouldn't mind if they went that direction for WrestleMania because I really don't want CM Punk involved in anything Seth Rollins or Roman Reigns unless it's a one-on-one match. I do not want it to be a triple because now we're going to talk about a triple threat that almost makes no sense outside of Rollins hating them both.
Well, Rollins hates Punk enough that he stayed there and watched Cena get that final pin.
And because of they watch him get choked out because he had already knocked him out with a curb stomp beforehand. Which, by the way, CM Punk again MVP of that match.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
He took a beating for because he came in last, I do believe.
I don't remember when he actually entered, but that feels about right.
No, Cena was last.
Yes.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Punk was last to enter. I'm sorry. As I'm reading my notes, there's several mentions of Punk. But yeah, like we definitely saw the hatred. Like one of my favorite moments is when a couple times that we had Drew and Seth fighting in front of his pod, and he's just cheering them on. This each time it didn't matter who was in control.
Yep.
Honestly, I hate to say it, Ryan, I disagree. I think that Paul just getting the natural hate for being the crappy person that he is really attributes a lot to his promos. And I really liked his promo on SmackDown this past week where he was just slinging the jokes at everybody, especially even coming out to Cena's theme song.
I just had a great
that was good.
After Mania, Logan Paul and Dirty Dom tag team.
God, please no.
Ooh, I hate you, BJ.
And they'll cut 5-minute promos before every match.
Oh my God, the booze would be raining down so loud.
The building would be vibrating
with booze, and not the good kind of booze.
Oh man, book it, you cowards.
Ryan, I could see that, but that's also because he's just not around enough to be in front of a live crowd. And Logan Paul's somebody that right now is feeding off the crowd reactions to know what direction to go of what's being successful and what's not. But yeah, like Priest hit the Claymore after the or gets hit with the Claymore after Drew. Yeah,
after he got eliminated. Yep, and then Logan Paul hits that top rope, just the splash.
Logan Paul
Priest gets the 3 count on Priest to knock him out. So yeah, that helps to set up Priest McIntyre going forward. Maybe you throw Logan Paul into that if Priest gets a wild hair up his ass about his elimination. So
that was more Drew that had that issue, I do believe. But I believe now that was all kayfabe. Maybe a slight, maybe there was a real life issue and got sorted out right away. We're like, we're going to run with this. The marks will love it.
What is that? I can't see that.
Man, now I gotta go.
It looks like a hill.
It looks like a pyramid. No, it's a train tracks. That's what it is. It's
I see. Yeah. Little trees on the side of train tracks.
Because we've been derailed.
I thought we were right on it.
I don't know.
We're on something, that's for damn sure. So yeah, as we get through to this match, we get down to our final 3. Punk,
Yep.
Rollins, and Cena, which all potential winners to go face Cody Rhodes. I think there would have been something to a Seth Rollins Cody Rhodes match at WrestleMania. Like that would have been interesting, and then you do Punk Roman instead.
Punk Roman.
I
would
wouldn't have
been
minded that.
interesting, But I
So where do we see Roman?
still-
I think we see Roman as soon as Monday night, maybe Friday.
Moving forward, like where do we see Roman? Like,
what is he going to be doing?
does he end up
Him and
feuding with?
Rollins. Him and Rollins.
Yeah, that seems like a Mania match. That
Because-
I'm all right with that.
Because I also see Solo and Fatu at WrestleMania as well.
Solo versus
Okay,
Fatu.
but then
Yeah.
all right, then what about Punk?
Punk and Paul.
Okay, I thought you had said earlier that you don't see that happening.
No. I there's a thing to where I don't see it happening, but at the same time, otherwise you have to put Punk into that main event, into that
no.
Rollins Reigns match, and that match realistically should be one-on-one. That has been building for 10 years. You have 10 years of history to tell with that. So, like I would like to see a conclusion to that at WrestleMania, not at SummerSlam, not in Riyadh.
Right.
Maybe in Philly I'd be okay with. Because then I can go to it.
Yeah.
Now, hold on. This is a good question. What about the favor he's getting? So, who says that CM Punk has to call in the favor for WrestleMania? Who says that? It's just assumed, just like the idea that we had the assumption that at some point in the year, after what happened the night after Raw, that Rock Cody was going to happen. I thought it. A lot of us just thought it generally because of how that night after WrestleMania went. It's taken us a full year to get back around to that.
Yeah.
Like CM Punk having this favor in his pocket isn't a bad thing. Like, hey, it could be as...
Yeah, when Paul
maybe-
Heyman owes you a favor. That's good.
I mean, at the moment, what if, I'm just saying here, instead of inserting himself into Punk or into Roman Seth or the Cena Cody match, what if? No, you're wasting CM Punk then. You're wasting Punk then. Having him be the referee of that match. Who is Punk to call that one down the middle when he admitted that he would, if he was younger, he would have taken that offer? Because now now I question a couple things because of how the Cell match ended, which will come all the way back around. So Seth gets eliminated, then hits Punk with a curb stomp while he's half out of the ring after kicking out or getting out the STF. From Cena.
He reversed
He
it
hits
the
the
first
curb
time.
stomp on that hard part of the cage floor, leading to Cena choking out Punk in the STF. Now, here's a question that I'm going to propose now because of what happens after this match. Is Rollins a part of that?
No.
That who would have thought that John Cena would? I mean, you theorize it, but Cena would have turned heel the way he did. Like there's something to say. Let's just look at it like this: if The Rock can corrupt Superman, he can corrupt almost anybody on that roster. Cody's being the rebel, and I think it was Punk's conversation that got to him.
Well, yeah, The Rock could corrupt anybody, but he did. We know who he corrupted. Well, let's get right into that.
But-
this match ends. Cena's victorious. The chamber gets raised up. Cody
We get
Rhodes comes
Cody
down to
out.
the ring, and he and Cena have their big old love fest in there for a minute. Rock comes down, and he asks his question, gives Cody the opportunity to give him the hug. And are we going to keep this PG here?
So let's go through the lead up to this. Rock comes out, he has the belt. with Dusty's the date that Dusty died on. It says Cody Soul on it, right? He gets in the ring like, it's time for your decision. Will you embrace me as my champion? I embrace you as your brother. I want your mind, body, and soul. All the stuff, all Cody had to do will say yes, and that the American Nightmare will live forever. And then we get what I consider, at least with the WWE, in I don't know how long. And boy,
So, Cody.
and I'll just
Cody
say, he
turns-
tells The Rock to go fuck himself.
There we are. We have moved to PG-13.
All right, we get that moment, which I'm just leaned into the TV like, this is amazing. Like, it makes me question other things about censorship, but I guess it's a PLE, you know.
Yeah.
And now we
Yeah.
get, because
Peacock
we
was
even
cool with
had
letting the one time.
Cody come out, and we get the whole idea of, even if this was going to be a face-face match
Yeah.
at WrestleMania.
Oh, they were pointing at the WrestleMania sign together, saying, "Yeah, this is going
Yeah.
to be great. We're going to do it."
And
then
it was a
Cody
great
tells Rock
moment.
to go F himself. Cena's like, "Yeah, man, come bring it
I
in
mean,
here."
I did, you know.
And then you see
Absolutely.
Cena's face change.
Cena's
Oh.
face looked like he was a Splinter agent, and like someone said his phrase. You know?
Yeah, he was the Winter Soldier.
It's one of those things to where, let's put this into perspective now. Because one thing I got from this moment, and no, I will say this right now, it does not 100% surpass Bash at the Beach 1996, when Hogan turned heel and flipped the industry upside down.
But
This
I've seen those
doesn't,
side by side stills though.
yeah, but
on
that
social
doesn't.
media.
I mean, it's generational fans that are of this generation that grew up with this and wasn't there when the industry was going like this again. And then that happens, and it makes the WWE eventually shift gears into a more realistic product because of what WCW was doing. I don't think it's that, but I will bring this idea up. What if Cena was in on it the entire time? What if this was
Cena
supposed to
wasn't
be
on it.
some?
Oh, he
No.
was.
He
So,
was.
well,
Since he
What
said best
if-
for business after the Rumble,
no,
that was the
All
cue
right.
right there.
no, but hear me out here. What if the whole thing was both of them? Yeah, at Bad Blood but what if Cody joining them would have been almost the formation of a new NWO style stable?
And that's what I was going to
Well, they
ask.
got
You,
their
you
third
think
Travis
that's where
Scott.
this is going?
Yeah, no, Travis Scott is just Dennis Rodman, but skinnier and shorter.
Yeah, true.
All right, but just the idea, that's what I'm saying. Like, what if Cena and Rock were on the same page? Like, if we corrupt Cody, imagine how powerful we will be
Yeah.
with having the
Yeah.
WWE champion at the center of all this.
Yeah.
So-
yeah, I'm sure that was a discussion and the thought in their heads.
Like,
But
there's
They had
just
this plan in case he said no.
I mean, I would assume so. Like, hey, in worst case scenario.
They probably went into it thinking he was going to say no. If he said yes, fine. But if he said no, you know,
This is the plan. Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, so this was obviously something that they had colluded on as I don't know who might have thought they would have done that, but yeah, anyway.
Mark.
So yeah, so and then we get just this brutal beatdown on Cody that starts with Cena literally kicking him in the nuts.
Oh,
So
so when he got kicked in the nuts and Cena, so it's kind of the moment, you know, they hug again. Oh, excuse me. And you see the glance from Cena looking at The Rock.
yeah, when
And
his
then
face
all of a
changes, yeah.
sudden, and you see the facial expression change. Cena's like, all right, back in character. Hey, Cody, I'll see you at WrestleMania. it takes a lot of a moment of building up to that moment to get me to stand up out my seat. And I literally popped out my seat like, holy shit, did that just really happen?
Yep, it did.
Those poor
Yeah.
Make-A-Wish kids. And he granted wishes before the show.
Yeah,
I'm sure he still will.
What do you mean?
yeah.
Oh, those kids were
It'll just be
depending
like-
on him. What about little Jimmy? Huh? What about little Jimmy?
Did you see our truth's Instagram
still got
today?
our
He
truth.
just,
Yes.
I think I'm just gonna crash out. So, yeah. Someone check on Truth, man. He's not doing well today. So, but yeah, just
had some
this
good catering, though.
this beatdown
On
that
Friday.
occurred afterwards, and Cody just nobody coming to his aid because, as commentary said, who is going to get in between the final boss and whatever his target is right now?
Yeah,
So-
it's definitely something to look at because I think there's still going to be more to this. Like, I want to see something built off this that is long term, even if Cena's not involved or not. Like, maybe to a point, let's say after WrestleMania, The Rock's still not going to be around all the time, right? And we're going to say Cena's the champion.
Cena's
but
full time for this next year.
Yeah, as best as he
Well,
can be, right?
Yes.
He's got 30 dates, I think he said, or something like that.
Yeah, he has a good amount of dates. It's just balancing it out, right? So what if the idea, because it's also interesting within this time frame, this setup since Bad Blood, right? Because it makes me think a couple things. One,
30 dates in a year, yeah.
what is the status of Roman Reigns and The Rock's relationship? Because Roman and Cena don't exactly have the best history, right?
True.
We all acknowledge our own one and only tribal
OTC.
chief. Because of the fact maybe The Rock's spacing away from him because he teamed with Cody, because he teamed with the Enemy. Does this maybe bring somebody like Kevin Owens at some point into this group? And I would even say, as a mouthpiece, while The Rock is gone, who is an established authority figure already? We get the call up of Ava. Who could
She
be
does
The
have that
Rock's
connection.
representation?
She's in the bloodline. She's his daughter. So yeah.
It's an interesting connection because Ava's been killing it in that role, and I'd like to see her get called up and see something happen where she gets like inserted into like a co-GM position so that The Rock has say on whatever show on SmackDown will say.
She could be the authority figure on his behalf going to Raw and SmackDown.
Kind of like Ariana Grace with NXT and TNA almost. She would be that rep. Well, she would
she's more of a
represent The
goodwill
Rock.
ambassador.
No,
Yeah,
but I'm
but-
saying she helps book something. The way they've modeled it is she helps with the bringing talent over and some of the booking, it seems. Because
That would
she's
not
made,
be Ava's responsibility. Ava would be there to make sure the Rock's bidding
well,
gets done.
I'll say Ariana Grace with this relationship on TV. She's made a couple matches here and there. So that's what I'm saying. Like, if we've seen that, it would be the idea that she's The Rock's voice of, hey, this is what I want done, and you're going to get it done. And can't nobody on either GM on either roster argue with you about it.
Right. Yeah, that would be it.
She would be
is
his
the voice
voice.
of the Rock.
Yeah.
She's basically the Metatron at that point.
I
there's
just want to say before we move on, I never, if you were to tell me that Cody's not going to turn heel, but something better is going to happen a week ago, I would have said you're lying. All I wanted was to see heel Cody. I did not know how much I wanted heel Cena.
Corporate Cena. Here it
Let's
is.
see.
Love
Corporate
it.
Cena.
Well,
I
I'm currently
I
at the
saw
moment.
Cena,
Oh,
here he is.
Claymore the Cena. Claymore the Cena.
There it is.
The match is going.
Nice.
Up and there's 1, 2, 3 Drew's
Spoiler alert.
elimination. That's where I'm at. But yeah, like this whole thing really did. As I said, this was not the NWO thing necessarily, but you got those vibes of Bash at the Beach '96 when Hogan turned and flipped the industry upside down. Because at that time, the fans for like the past year or two had started already turning on him because they were bored of him. It just that gimmick, that type of gimmick just wasn't working anymore. And because it was all like high school and college kids of the 90s. And then you get this heel turn. You had Hall and Nash, which, gee, you know who we are, but you don't know why we're here, the whole type thing. Like, wow, did Vince really send them over there? And this whole, one of the best things Eric Bischoff ever did, hands down, is that whole entire angle for the NWO. And
me and my friends, like, watched every week. Like, we would flip back and forth. But when that happened, it was straight Nitro. We didn't care what was happening.
Yeah, WWF was garbage at the time.
Yeah.
It wasn't straight up garbage, but it wasn't as exciting because on Nitro you never knew what you were going to get week to week.
Absolutely,
Milky, we all want to see kids crying in the front row. That's
heel John Cena is for the kids, damn it.
I want to see children's hearts broken. I want to see like Angry Miz Girl, but like the whole crowd.
But yeah, so you get this beatdown for Cena where he takes the watch that Cody gave The Rock, puts it on his knuckles, 2 shots, puts him down, and just mounts him and just starts going at like what?
The beating continued for quite some time.
Yeah,
these are tactics we've never seen out of Cena.
Not outside of a match where he was pushed to that point.
Yeah.
Like, there's a thing to even say where our heroes, despite wherever, do get pushed to a certain point where they finally snap and have to come back. There was no coming back. Like, the idea that the ultimate baby face, like, because you would say that in the past 25 years, there's no other ultimate baby face in pro wrestling than John Cena.
Yeah. Everyone else has at least had a heel.
Maybe Rey Mysterio, I would put maybe on there as well.
Yeah,
because
except
I don't
for the
think
one time he got booed at the Rumble.
Well, that's because he wasn't Brian.
It wasn't his fault.
Yeah. But the shots with that weight belt, even Travis Scott smacked the crap out of him.
Yeah.
And here's another thing I like to bring up, which I thought was a nice callback from, I believe Nexus was 2012, their debut, somewhere around there. When they did the debut and they came out like NWO style, just tearing everything apart. And Bryan Danielson chokes Justin Roberts with his own tie. John Cena did that to Cody.
Well, hopefully Cena doesn't get fired.
He did.
Well, who's going to fire him?
The Rock made sure he has that job.
Yeah. Oh, he's fired? I rehired him. He's still in the main event at WrestleMania.
Stephanie's going to fire.
With what power?
Oh, no, she's busy with her new show.
Hey, good for her. She's got a show for herself now.
I hope
but
I wouldn't bring back the Nexus at this point. What I would do, though, and responding to Ryan there, I would make Wade, not just on commentary, but have him be maybe the leader of that new faction in NXT with Deion Lennox. I think that would be cool. But yeah, like the blood smear on the weight belt. Everything that happened with this, what a message that was set, not just to Cody, but to us fans, right?
Yeah.
Like you thought you knew, we have no idea. And this is something that I would say, even if it's The Rock and Triple H in collaboration, which it is, whoever else is involved, just the idea that they're taking it down to this fine of a point, that we had a seed for this planted back at Bad Blood in October. In October, it's March now. It's what, 6 months later? And all of a sudden, we're like, wait a minute, that's what The Rock did when he came out, and everybody's like, what does it mean?
Mhm.
Here's your sign.
Yes, BJ. Uh, so,
There's no timeouts in wrestling.
well, there are occasionally, you just like, oh, whoa, timeout, timeout.
And then the ref starts counting and nothing stops.
Yes, exactly.
But
Why?
and then even so you get through all that, and even on commentary, the way Cole put it over, how despicable it is. He even said shit on
Yeah.
commentary. A lot. It almost felt like this whole segment was almost an homage to the NWO segment, and that's you could see that's what they were targeting. Now, I will stand by. That is what, if we're looking at and comparing it to that, the Hogan heel turns number one because of the impact it had. If they wanted to do that with Cena, have that impact, this should have been done 10 years ago.
Well, I mean, Bray Wyatt did predict it in 2020.
There's just a lot that they did that gave me those vibes. And the callback that just the phrasing of everything gave me was exactly what they wanted to do. And to invoke that memory of me watching Hogan turn heel and just being like, Bobby Heenan was right. I knew there was a reason I hated Hogan, because this is the real Hogan. Bobby Heenan was right.
Turns out Bobby Heenan was always right.
Yeah, he's still a weasel.
This was a good line. Cole had some good commentary last night.
Oh, yeah.
He really did.
It was funny when Pat McAfee said he wanted to beat up Cole when they first met. You were going to beat me up? Yeah.
I could see that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
And even so, as the show went off the air, and we get to them signing off from the PLE to go to the post show.
Right.
You see, as they're doing right before they do the transition, Michael Cole gets in the ring to check on Cody. Wade Barrett gets in the ring. And before Pat can get in the ring, they were already on their way out. Like that, even watching that really sold the moment to me even more, because that shows that there was concern that, hey, like, are you all right? Because did Cody make a mistake saying no? Especially after the past 6, 7, 8 months of matches he's been through and the type of matches they have been.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a thought. But technically, Cody didn't say no. He said, go F yourself.
It was interpreted as a no.
Fair.
Yeah.
By the way, that was a really weird slash from Rock. It was like
it was the two fingers like drawn all the way up and across, and then he did like the little kiss off at the end. It was very choreographed there.
He must have practiced that in the mirror.
Oh yeah. Let's see. I need to get the look on this just right, and voila. Yes, that's it.
Yeah. That was the post-game press conference when Triple H was talking about how he took over Gorilla and was like, "I got it from here. Let's go."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nobody knew what was going to happen.
Like they did a really good job. Props to the WWE for getting that and making it mean something. Because I guess that was the idea, whether fans saw it coming or not. How would they respond to the heel turn finally happening?
Oh, yeah.
That becomes the
press
question.
Conference. Speaking of the post-game press conference, how about Cena's part of it, where he just came out, slowly takes the microphone out of the stand, drops it, walks out.
At least he didn't pick up the whole thing and wreck it. At least he acknowledges that he's not trying to cost. Yeah, he's not trying to cost his boss any money. Oh, and then the guy who asked The Rock about his Waffle House order after taking John Cena's soul. That was great.
Rock's never been to Waffle House.
Now, so here we go. I like to, because I think we're going to take a quick break in a moment here, for us to catch our breath and everything. It'll be a quick minute break. But I propose this. So when Hogan turned and did his thing, he became Hollywood Hogan. In the early 2000s, when The Rock went to Hollywood, did the Scorpion King and the Mummy or whatever, came back, he was Hollywood Rock. Are we now in the age of Hollywood Cena?
He's been Hollywood Cena for a long time. It's just now we're finally going to call him.
I mean, Hogan was in movies before he was Hollywood Hogan.
No, Hogan's movies weren't good or anything, or like they didn't make any money.
But we're not talking about
Rocky
how
3
successful.
Rocky 3.
Santa
Rocky
with muscles,
3.
okay. Santa
Suburban
with muscles, all right.
Suburban Commando did pretty good too for its time.
But then you got Mr. Nanny.
Yeah, and then there's Mr.
I'd like
Nanny.
to see how much Hogan has made acting compared to how much Cena and The Rock have made acting.
Oh, they've made incredibly
even
more.
close.
That's
Not
inflation. That's just on
Or
inflation
even
alone.
Stone Cold. He was in the Expendables, wasn't he?
I bet Stone Cold made more off of that than Hogan made on his whole acting career.
Yeah,
I bet
made
you
more off of that
Triple
than
H.
Hogan did
I
his whole
bet
career.
you Triple H made more money on that weird kids school trip movie.
Or Blade 3.
Kevin Nash made a ton of money for his cameo in Punisher. I know that. That was amazing.
Well,
by
he
the
got
way.
stabbed for real for that, so.
Yeah, so he better
Wow.
have made good money for that. But just the idea that, and I saw a clip from a CVV interview, which is really funny that this happened because he proposes the question in the interview of that what would it be like to live in an age of a heel Rock and a heel Cena at the same time? And let's put into this that with a heel Rock and a heel Cena, we have a babyface Randy Orton and a babyface CM Punk. Like, this whole thing's just flipped upside down.
We are
And
in the alternate reality.
man, who got the Infinity Stones and snapped their hands? Or
Thanos.
snapped their fingers? Oh, it wasn't me. I used the Dragon Balls. They're easier to find, and I don't have to go to a planet and kill somebody I care about to get the Soul Stone.
I'll just stick with Chucky.
Yeah.
I'll stick with Thunder Rosa.
Sure.
I guess I'm stuck with Dr. Pepper.
Weird, but okay. At least the roses don't smell of senile shit anymore. Thank you, Milky.
On that note, ladies and gentlemen, for our break this week, which I guess is, unless you want to cue it up, BJ, this video this week we will be showing a short highlight video of the post game versus Primal Fear from SPO Key to the City that took place a couple weeks ago.
Cue it up.
One more time.
And
we're back.
that was Primal Fear and the
Danger
post-game.
Ginger had to step away. Normal Danger Ginger had to step away, so Babyface Lego Ginger is here. and I am absolutely heartbroken that the Ultimate Babyface and John Cena turned heel.
Hey, all three of us right now could play for the Yankees. Well, never mind.
What do you mean? The Yankees allow facial hair now, finally.
Yes, they do.
Oh, that's right. They do allow beards,
Yeah.
neatly trimmed beards now.
Yes, they just amended that this year.
That's right. I'd never sell my soul to the Yankees.
Well, you know, I don't have a soul to sell to the Yankees, so
All right, Trent
that is what
Reznor.
it is.
Help them.
So, overall, what would you give a grade for Elimination Chamber?
Overall, I'm going to give it a B plus. I thought it was very good. I think that the reason I'm giving it the B plus is that the women's tag match, it was okay. That was probably about a C minus range for me. The women's elimination chamber match given an A minus. The Sammy KO given an A. I'm giving an A to the men's, and I'm also giving an A to the. Actually, I think I do with this have to maybe bring it up to A minus, even with that C for the women's match. So yeah, okay, revised A minus.
All right, BJ, what about you?
I'm not going to break it down that much, but yeah, all the matches delivered for their spot in the card and for the hype surrounding them. I honestly think I'm going to give it an A. It was so far this year, which there hasn't been much competition, but it's the pay-per-view of the year, PLE of the year so far.
What about you, DG?
It's set the bar, pretty much.
I think Royal Rumble kind of set the bar automatically, but that's just by default. But I think Royal Rumble was a really good pay-per-view as well. For me, I give it an A as well. Like, even with the idea, like I said, the Tiffany Trish match wasn't a bad match by any means. It was just the one match on the card where I knew what was going to happen. So that just mentally naturally took me out of it. Nothing that they did or didn't do in the match.
Yeah, it was fine for where it was and what it was.
Yeah,
It was a
especially
ski match.
considering what we got afterwards.
Yeah, it was a C. It was fine.
Yeah, we needed a breather.
Potential to keep babyface leg over.
We
Well,
just have to
alright
come up with an
then.
animation where the mouth moves.
Oh God! If I can make
Like
that
maybe
into let me see if I can figure out how to make it into something like that, and I will do it. So I'll keep Lego me up at the moment. That's fine. But yeah,
Don't
overall,
encourage
I give it an A. Like I mean, part of me really wants to give it kind of an A plus, but it's just hard to do that when that match was on the card itself.
Sure. Yep. Agreed.
But yeah, it was a really good pay-per-view, and it's the final stop on the road to WrestleMania, for at least PLE wise. So, they did a good job of, hey, if you haven't bought tickets for WrestleMania yet, you probably should now.
Definitely. WrestleMania is definitely shaping up into one heck of a card, honestly. This is going to be really pretty neat, like pretty good matches on there. Am I distracting enough yet?
The next, Ryan Milky, the next NXT PLE is Stand and Deliver. Whatever they're doing next is the Madison Square Garden show is actually going to be on TV. That's actually just an episode of NXT. Roadblock. There we go.
Yeah.
Which, boy,
Roadblock?
yes, which is a good time for us to transition into talking about NXT. Which, by the way, I am seriously impressed with how well they've been doing a lot of the crossover stuff with TNA now.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's all coming together really well. And I guess we should get into the big news out of NXT. That at Roadblock, after Stephanie Valkyrie successfully defended her North American Championship against Carmen Petrovich, we get Julia coming out saying we need to see who's the best, and we get the match laid out for championship for championship. The NXT Women's Championship up against the North American Women's Championship. Winner take all. Tell me that you're not looking forward to this match, and I'll tell you you're a liar.
I'm looking forward to this match. I'm just a little confused by it, is my thing. Like, I understand that, we want to see Stephanie and Julia wrestle against each other, see who the best is out of that. But you just got this North American belt. You just got this world title. You haven't run through the divisions yet. Why are you doing title versus title now? This doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. There are other matches to be had within divisions to build these belts up on these women.
As Ryan Milky said in the chat, which is true, we do know for a fact that one of them is injured.
I'm trying to keep it.
Yeah, let's pull back the curtain for a minute there.
Well, we're just marks at this point, all right? But,
with the Julia rumored injury there, it does make sense with the Julia rumored injury. However, now you've got two belts that are sandwiched together, and one of them is a relatively new belt. And at some point, you're going to have to get them apart again, and that's just always messy.
All right, so...
yeah.
So, I spoke to both of you about this. I spoke to him before the show, Chef. We've spoke throughout the week about this. And This is one of those situations where, all right, so we have a confirmation from whatever that one of them is injured. And it seems like everything's leaning toward Julia, but it hasn't been confirmed or denied for either. So, I think it's Julia as well. She works a lot more of a stronger, tougher style.
Yeah.
And the transition from that Japanese style to that American WWE style, I can see that. So it's not a serious injury. It's something just long enough that you can't remain the champion. So we're looking at maybe a 3-month injury, something like that, right? And you don't want to try but you don't want to try to explain it all for 3 months while your top champion's not there. So
it's something that's not serious enough that she can't go and drop the belt in a match. So
she could go out and still Well,
so she can go out and lose the belt in a match, but then be out with injury while she's. It doesn't make sense. She should be dropping the belt, and they do something else to get a new champion.
So
not
Ryan
combine
says
these
the
two
same
belts.
thing, that he's struggling because of the risk more. Now it depends on the injury, right? Let's put this into context.
Cody Seth with the pec.
Yeah. All right. So if you have an injury that you can't damage anymore, and you're not going to do any worse damage to it than what's already done, then it all depends on how you book the match, right? Like of the spots and everything, you make sure it's safely. For all we know, that this match could
and we don't
happen.
know what that injury is.
Yeah. For all we know, this could be something to where they just don't want to have a vacant title at this time of year, and that she just goes into the match and Julia or Stephanie Valkyrie just rolls her up 1, 2, 3 in shocking fashion. And we don't actually have a match.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying that's going to happen or that's my prediction for it or anything like that, but you could just do things. There's little things to be done that take away some of that. You can minimize the risk, which that's what matters most. In the perfect world, whoever wins, I think, should then vacate. Because what title would be easier to have vacated? The women's
North
champion?
American.
Yeah, that's the better because that's an elevation. You're elevating somebody to the next level or seeing what they got. So Stephanie Valkyrie vacates that title
You can have either a tournament, a ladder match, whatever, to
And
fill the
something
North
that-
American.
that we spoke about.
Shut up and take my money.
Something that we spoke about before the show started. What if at Stand and Deliver we have an Ultimate X match for the NXT North American Women's Championship?
Including some
I
TNA
want
women.
nothing more.
Yeah, and it's an opportunity for crossover, which is great at that point. And it would be
Let me
something
get
that would,
Masha, Rosemary. Okay, we'll get into that.
what about Tasha?
Yeah, let's throw Tasha in there.
Yeah, you don't want to interfere with
Just for
her
fun.
SPO title defenses, though. Ladder matches are rough, and it's not something she has.
Well,
to
there's
do, you know,
already
but
TNA already has a pay-per-view the night of the next SPO event.
Yes, they do.
Oh, so we're not going to see our champion?
Yeah, that's why we're getting Ruthie and Angel Metro.
Oh, that's right. Well, is that official yet?
Yes,
Mm,
yes, that is official from the way it sounded on Spocast last week. Which, real quick, I guess I can cue something up at the moment.
there she
Look at
is.
this. Ruthie J looking beautiful. Angel Metro looking beautiful. And beautiful graphics, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes,
What company put those graphics together there? Eclipse Graphics. For all your graphic needs.
but yeah. So, given the context now that we know this match is happening, does Stephanie Vach do they
Milky,
hot shot?
definitely.
I had to switch back over.
Milky's comment, come and catch a SPO event with us this year. Yeah,
Hey, man.
definitely, man.
Hey, yeah, man. You know, we're all about that life. But yeah, so or do we get a weird spot in this match where somehow neither title changes hands?
No, we're going to have a winner here. We're going to have one of them is going to have both titles. It's most likely, if this rumor mill is correct, it's most likely Stephanie Vicaire walking out with both belts. In that case, I do agree with you, DG, that she needs to drop one of them. My preference would be the North American title. Let a tournament go for that, and then maybe Stephanie Vicaire versus.
Why would you
who
drop
knows,
why would you drop the NXT title? You know, like that would
Yeah.
be stupid.
Yeah,
it would
why
make
would you drop
sense.
the more prestigious?
that would make no
valuable title?
sense.
Yeah.
You've earned it. Why would you drop the biggest one?
I mean,
Yeah.
if that were to be the case, I would say that if that were to happen, not saying it's going to, but I want to build a legacy with this. This championship has a legacy. This one doesn't. Right? So, like,
Yeah.
what would it say that somebody wanted to keep that championship to make it relevant to the top one? Like, there's a case to be made for it, but it would make no sense this time of year.
Right.
With you
Yeah,
having to
this time
build
of
to
year.
what's going to be your biggest show of the year at Stand and Deliver. And
Yeah,
the
yeah,
10th
and that would-
anniversary of it.
Yep. And Stand and Deliver, you could have a
No way,
nice
wow.
little Ultimate X style match, or even call it an Ultimate X match if you want to, with TNA's cooperation for that Women's North American title.
And now we also know in the shadows waiting is Jordan Grace.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Oh,
the,
yes.
That's
like-
going to be the
Juggernaut.
winner of this match next.
and I mean,
contender, I
we
feel
also got a tease of the idea of maybe we get Jordan and Roxy at Stand and Deliver.
That could
Like,
be fun.
Yeah,
Like
or at-
Roxy's
or at Roadblock.
blow off match for NXT.
yeah, but that because Jordan couldn't beat her when she was the TNA Women's Champion or Knockouts Champion, you know. So there's definitely a little bit of story there that they started planting seeds for. So that should be interesting. We had what was actually a good TNA X Division Championship this week on NXT as well, with Moose retaining against Lexus King.
Yeah.
We have Oba Femi come out after that, which fully sets up now for what I thought was going to be championship for championship. It will just be the TNA X Division champion, Moose, going up against Oba Femi for the NXT championship, where Moose and the System picked up a win over Oba and was it the Rascals this week?
Yep.
Or was it the Hardys?
No, it was the Hardys.
No, it was the Hardys.
It was Oba and the Hardys.
Yeah, over
Yep,
on TNA this week.
Yep.
This storyline going across both shows makes TNA must watch now if you are somebody who watches NXT. Right. Which, again, as I will continue to say, that this relationship will benefit TNA much more than NXT. It just helps NXT talent who might not have something at the moment, or they just want to have extra reps going over to TNA and getting them reps. It's not about the jobs and who's winning or losing at this point.
Yeah. And also,
I can't help but thinking about. Go ahead.
They're giving us more selling points for TNA, like having the Hardys come over and saying, hey, the Hardys are over in TNA. We're going to bring them in to face No Quarter Catch Crew.
Which that was also, by the way, was one of my match of the week contenders. Oh, yep. The Rock Cody segment's going. Boy, I forgot I had this even on. Oh, God.
Limu, Emu, and Doug. Y'all set there?
Yeah. I'm good, man. But yeah, so Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
We're live, pal. Don't get distracted.
I'm allowed to get distracted. It's the mic thing to do, all right? That's all I'm going to say. There is a term at work called miking it up. Breaking kayfabe there here at the moment.
Yeah, but it's all in love.
It's about to happen. That's why I'm distracted, because to go F yourself's about to happen. But yeah,
put on closed captions. I want to see what it says.
Yeah, what do the captions say with this whole thing?
Does it censor it?
Oh, I don't. Hold on. I will put the subtitles on and find out. But yeah, so
we just lost Chef.
Did Oz reclaim him? And nope.
Hey,
we thought the Wizard of Oz took you back, man.
I'm
under the ring.
I'm here. I just got lost for a minute in the ether.
Damn ether.
Yep.
And shit up. So yeah, where do you see this Oba Femi Moose match going? Do we see the NXT titles change shows? Hold on.
We were talking about that.
It said they censored it. It says go dash yourself.
All right.
Go dash yourself.
Thanks, Milky.
That I feel like that's going to be my new thing now. I'm just going to tell people to go dash themselves.
Go dash yourself.
But yeah,
imagine the reactions. What you just say to me?
Moose versus Oba Femi.
I would like to think that the championship is going to change shows, but I'm having a real hard time wrapping my head around that actually happening. I mean, these are two large gentlemen. Either one of them could land that shot that takes the other one out. And it could just as easily be Moose. Moose also has the system's numbers behind him. So there's always that factor at play, and you have to trust the system because the system works. So
that's what they say.
Well, I think there's probably about I'll put it at like a 25% chance that the title actually does go to Moose and change shows.
I want to see it happen. I want to see the title switch shows, but this match, like Big E, will definitely be watching because it's just big men just slapping meat.
Big E man slapping
this is
me.
gonna be,
Yeah.
This is just going to be an amazing match. Don't expect much technical work in this match. But yeah, I think like it's more. I want to see it happen. I want to see a title change brands. You know what I mean? Like, and I want to see where they can go from there with with that storyline. Like you said, Chef, anything can happen, man. Like like this, just big men slapping meat. Whoever gets the biggest hit is going to win. I don't see anything dirty happening really.
Well, I do with the system. I do see some tomfooleries throughout this match, which was why I could see it happening. I give it a chance, but overall, I don't think that's the title that changes hands at Roadblock, because after the Hardy Boys successfully, and what was one of my considerations for match of the week against the No Quarter Catch crew, we get Fraxium coming out. And after them and the Hardys give each other their flowers, we get announced,
literally
challenge announced, accepted, whatever, for at NXT Roadblock for the TNA Tag Team Championships, the Hardys and Fraxium. Now, this is where things get really interesting for me, because right now, that would be something very interesting to see those titles go on the Fraxium.
Mm-hmm.
And I can see it definitely happening with that too, where there's no other real championship implications at the moment. And with I think a Fraxium call-up looming, you're definitely increasing their value by doing that. And then maybe even then getting our first taste, if they still hold those titles, of main roster talent crossing over to TNA.
Do you think they get called up together as a unit, or do you think they complete this storyline first?
No, I think they get called up as a unit. I think they're one of the best tag teams right now. Like, even though they are a thrown together team, most tag teams are. At some point, there's two guys thrown together and it works. There are the exceptions of our favorite brother tag teams and stuff like that. But
like
usually,
no.
Or the Backseat, or the Hardys. Like there's something. There is something to that, and I just loved also that that making it official was Santino coming out to his WWE theme. My head went from typing my notes here on the computer to instantly over like this, like, no.
It's like when JDC came out to the Fandango music.
Yeah, and the acknowledgement of the crowd, you could tell that was a real emotional moment for him to make his return on WWE TV. But yeah, I think Fraxium is a team that will stay together for a bit longer. I think with all the other heel teases that started happening, they took the gas off of that, because that is one of the better tag teams in NXT, and they could be a real problem for any team on the main roster, from the War Raiders to DIY.
Yeah.
Like, and I would love to see, like, as a dream match at the moment, I'm just looking at rosters, them and the Machine Guns, I think would be a great match. Especially after
that would definitely be fun.
Them and the Hardys, I expect a great match out of.
Oh yeah. I expect that one to be a match of the week contender.
Speaking of match of the week, we've talked about all this match of the week now.
Well, I have one other match from NXT to talk about, and
I got my segue too early. Sorry.
Yeah. Way to botch that up there, Damien.
Oh.
But yeah, so we had the wrestling debut of Ricky Saints in the main event of NXT this week, teaming with Javon Evans and successfully defeating Ethan Page and Wesley. And shut up, Wesley. But yeah, and that was another really good match. And I just love this whole Ricky Starks Saints thing, whatever, recently, where he's just walking through the back and he's always like, why is everybody so angry around here? Like, he's amazed that so many people are, like, I love the name change, by the way. Like, it pays homage to where he's from. And it's very close. It's close enough, to where the transition is easier than going from Edge to Adam Copeland to Cope.
Yeah.
Or Bryan Danielson to Daniel Bryan and back to Bryan Danielson.
Well, at least the initials are the same, even if they're in weird order.
Or going from Aleister Black to
well, that's
Malachi Black, and then
Brian
probably
Milky,
back to Aleister again.
Black. And then
who's going to be
back to Aleister?
Who's going to be at Mania this year, buddy? I'm kind of curious out of those names. We just dropped a couple different names. So, speaking of Aleister, Malachi Black, I don't know. I can see him in the crowd, but he won't be actually competing on the show. I don't think they're going to have that much faith.
Miro Day.
Yeah. All right, at 42, I can see it at 42.
Yeah, next year.
At 42,
that's what he was saying. Not this year.
Oh,
next
okay.
year.
Oh yeah. I just read that. My bad. But yeah, we had the Javon Evans, Ethan Page storyline continued. Leave Ricky and Wes 1-on-1, and he picks up the win, closes out doing his pose. I said it from 5-6 years ago when I first saw him. The same reaction I had to Jade Cargill when I first saw her. Whatever it is, they have it. It's just, can it be nurtured and that seed be watered so it can grow into what it's supposed to be? Because Ricky reminds me a lot of The Rock. Just in his his presentation of himself, how he has that charisma coming out of him when he has that mic in his hand. Like, there's a lot how he can command the spotlight. That's something you just do. It can be taught, but it seems like he just knows how to do it. Same thing with Jade.
See, I was
like Jade. Yeah,
I was totally impressed with Jade right off the bat. Yeah. Ricky took time to grow on me. Jade was like, I saw her. I was like, she's
gotten there.
No, he had room to grow, but when I first saw him, and as he progressed just in AEW, before they just dropped the ball with him and he was just hopping from thing to thing, the crowd reactions, how he commands the crowd and stuff like that. Not saying he doesn't need work, but it reminds me a lot of those beginning times with The Rock where he could just command that crowd and didn't realize he was doing it yet. And then all of a sudden, it all clicked together. And then once the in-ring gets better, and it all comes together. Because now he's going to be working in that performance center with people working on him on every aspect of that. So he's only going up from here. And even Jade Cargill's return reminded me a lot of a heel Jade Cargill, as of how aggressive she was going after Naomi. Like, she reminded me of being that bitch again.
Cut the shit, Tony. Jade Cargill.
Yeah, she really reminded me of those type of moments. And it's something to say that you look at somebody and you see, wow, all this room to improve, but you still have whatever it is to sit there and say, that spotlight should be on me. Nobody else, it should be on me. Ethan Page has that, to where he can make the spotlight about him and still elevate the people around him.
Yep.
But yeah, we have any honorable mentions from anything else? I will say that JCW Lunacy had a new episode this week, and that was pretty good. I really enjoyed that.
I haven't caught that yet. Have to go on Triller and watch that tonight.
But I guess if we have covered everything else at the moment, just real quick, another match that I saw from AEW this week that was an honorable mention was last night's Adam Cole and Daniel Garcia TNT Championship match. That was really good. We got advancements in the Adam Page MJF. Wow. Whole storyline going. But they would, I think MJF and Miz would have a great feud or even be a great tag team together. Like,
Well, you know,
Until
MJF
one
no
turns
longer
on
has
the other one.
AEW tattooed on his leg.
yeah.
That AEW tattoo got lasered off of MJF's leg, so he could go to WWE now.
We get a nice little
Who cares?
swerve
You can wear
promo.
long pants anyway.
We have the nice swerve Ricochet and Nana segment, which I will say this: Ricochet's not there yet, but in the past couple weeks,
No.
ever since he's been starting to get handed a mic, I've
Trending
seen
upward.
progression. Yeah, he's trending upwards. I felt like this week was the best he's been on the mic so far because he actually got his message across of what he wanted. And he's figuring it out, which is good because WWE never gave him the major mic time to develop that side of his character. So it's a work in progress, but it's getting around to where you
And
need
how
it
about
to be.
Nana's? And how about Nana's ultimatum?
I think
Yeah.
Nana could turn on Swerve at Revolution, personally. I could see that.
Definitely
I could
see in a couple weeks from now seeing Ricochet and Nana being.
Next week, March 9th, is Revolution, which I don't even think we have a full card for that outside of a couple matches.
We never have a full card. Like,
And if
AEW
we do,
puts out
it's
their full
14
card the day
matches.
before.
They throw it all together that day.
Yeah. At Collision on Saturday night, they'll give us the full card.
We had Cope taking out another member of the Death Riders. We had one last week, and then this week, Willow.
And we had Willow helping him too. Willow came
Oh,
out and
what
took
a
care
moment.
of took care of Marina Shafir. Good to see
And
that.
then Harley Cameron stepping up her game this week. I feel like this
Talk
her
about someone
rant,
trending up.
yeah. Even if it's an R-Truth style thing right now, like it is great.
AEW
and
needs
she's
that.
getting over.
AEW needs a little bit of good humor injected into it. Like
I wish I was filming my reactions when I was watching Dynamite because when Cope had Marina and I guess was it Mox laid out with the chairs?
No,
I was
it
like-
was Claudio.
it was Claudio.
Claudio rather, yeah. I was Emperor Palpatine. I was do it,
Do it.
do it,
Do it.
do it. And then Willow, I was like,
Yep.
oh no, she can do it. That's cool. That works. Yeah.
Yep.
That was amazing. Loved
Yeah.
it.
And she had a good match with Deonna Purrazzo. You know, I think it was another random roll-up win, but let Harley Cameron pick up the wins like that. Like it shows that she's figuring it out, and you're building the character up to something bigger. You know, and
I just feel
with
bad for Deonna Purrazzo and Taya Valkyrie that they just keep getting jobbed out like this.
well, they're not
well,
the
they're
shiny.
such big names. They've been
They're
doing
not
it for
TK
so long.
shiny toys.
That's true.
Yeah,
Um,
they were
Takesh-
someone else's shiny toys that he found.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Takeshka and Orange Cassidy had a really good international championship match this week too. Like props to them for that. Collision last night. The Undisputed Kingdom and FTR had what I consider a really good tag team match. FTR initially won the match. I think it was Kyle O'Reilly's foot was on the rope. Even though the referee was like, I'm awarding you the win, they demanded for the match to restart and then lost the match.
Oh.
They
Interesting.
gave up a win they had. I think an FTR heel turn is coming in the future. I think something's gotten to them and they're going to go back to their roots and be
They make
who
such great heels.
And not just that, I would say, at least in the 2020s, they are the best tag team in the world right now. They win everywhere
Yeah.
they go, whether they have gold or not. A match where you see them in it, you're watching it because you know how good it's going to be, and it's regardless of who their opponents are. Also, next on, I believe it's Dynamite this week, the Outrunners are getting a tag team championship match.
Yes, they are by virtue
Um,
of that win they had.
Yeah. Last night we had Wheeler Yuta defeat Willie Mack. and then Mox come out
Willie
and
Mack
tell
was
him
on
to fit.
AEW.
Yeah, and him
No
and
kidding.
what you they were. It was a good match. It
We
was
just met him.
Yeah, great guy. You have Mox come out with the briefcase because Shafir is now hospitalized, I guess, from that concerto. And
From being Pillmanized.
yeah, and he tells
Oh,
you
sorry.
to fit it. Go ahead.
Sorry, it's not the Pillmanizer if it's on the head. Then it's the execution, right?
Yeah, I guess.
Or concerto. That's it.
Oh, there you
Concerto.
go. Yeah, you have Mox come out and get on the mic real quick. It's like, you're my young prodigy. You're here for a reason. Now you got to learn how to finish the job. He gives after hitting Willie Mack with the briefcase, and then he goes and Yuta does it, setting up that he's the last one for Cope to take out, and they have a match this week on Dynamite. So it'll be interesting to see how that happens. We get a Tony Storm segment talking about their upcoming match at Revolution, where she uses the terms taking a soul or whatever. So, I guess they're hopping on that soul train.
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop.
I see what you did there.
And that, I mean, at that point, I'm just like, you kind of lost me because you just took a bite from WWE and recycled something that hasn't even been around long enough to be recycled yet. Sir Strickland defeats Clark Connors. First time I've seen Clark Connors, but it was a really good match. He
was around a couple years back.
I brought up the TNT Championship match. We get another match booked for Evolution. Big Justice AJ, Orange Cassidy, and Mark Briscoe versus MXM and Johnny TB.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's a pre-show match, in all honesty. And then, in a shocking fashion, in all honesty, Queen Aminata defeats Julia Hart in a rematch from last week's Collision. And then after Brody King comes out to check on her, he gets attacked by Okada with the championship. After they had kind of bumped into him during an interview thing to open the show. And then Bandito and Powerhouse Hobbs defeats Big Bill and Brian Keefe, the Bad Apple, from the Learning Tree.
All right.
But I guess now it is time for us to give, for the first time in our new segment,
debut.
Yes, debut segment, Match of the Week, where we don't have to agree on it. It's just our personal match of the week. There's some nice little Easter eggs here in this graphic.
Whoa.
Anybody catches them, feel free to leave a comment about what Easter eggs there are on the graphic. What did you do, man?
Hit the
Sheik
funny
fell.
button.
And Sheik fell, and it was a nightmare recovering him, but now he's back where he belongs.
So,
Sheiky baby.
He's Sheiky.
I know my match of the week. Boy, man,
All right, there you go.
you're just really having trouble over there. So, BJ, we'll start with you. What was your match of the week?
SmackDown qualifier for the triple threat for the shot at Shinsuke and his title. Jacob Fatu and Andrade. Just a hard-hitting affair. It was impressive to see Andrade hang in there like that, and they took it all over the outside of the ring. They took it all over the place, and it ended clean. Solid match. That was my match of the week.
All right, Chef, what about you? What was your match of the week?
Well, I'm not sure it's really a match, but I feel like the moment of the week has to be the John Cena heel turn. That whole segment with The Rock, and
that's
not a
not.
match.
I mean, my whole
Not a
reason
match?
Yeah, that's not a match. That's a segment. You know, there was no that is the moment of probably the entire week, but not the match of the week.
Fair enough. All right. In that case, my match of the week is going to the men's elimination chamber match itself. That match was completely just off the wall, bonkers, just great action the
Spot
entire
fest.
time. Yeah.
Yeah.
There was no reason for me to not give that one match of the week, and it leads into my moment of the week. That is not actually a match of the week. So yeah, that whole match and everything it sets up, the elimination chamber, the men's match. Yeah, that's my match of the week right there.
All right. And for me, my match of the week, which it's been stuck in my head all week since Monday night's main event, and that is Liv Morgan and Raquel Gonzalez going up against Naomi and
Raquel
Bianca Belair
Rodriguez.
for the WWE. Raquel Rodriguez, my bad. For the women's tag team championship. That match actually, as I talked about before on previous shows, right? That I expected Liv and Raquel to win those titles at some point. And that match was back and forth the entire time. Tons of false finishes, which typically isn't the WWE way of booking, and the way they did it with Dom getting involved at certain points and all these other little things happening leading to it. It was an absolutely amazing match. And that is by far my match of the week, and I feel like nothing really lived up to that, given even the fact in a PLE week. Like, the chamber matches were great. It was just like we kind of saw the route that Elimination Chamber was going. So I even said it last week for picking the women's. I picked Bailey, but I said I probably should be picking Bianca because of what I saw, how it was going. But, you know, me picking Bianca Belair for anything is a tough task all in itself because just not a fan. But yeah, definitely. And congratulations to them for being a record holder 3 times now. Liv and Raquel have been WWE Women's Tag Team Champions.
Good on them.
Together. And I think that there's a lot of upside to that. Liv Morgan, like I said, was my MVP of her chamber match. Like, they've been booking her really well, even without having a championship. And they continue to let her look credible. Like, you can see a world where she doesn't need Raquel and could still be doing all this with somebody else or nobody at all and just pursuing singles gold.
The welts on her body after that match tell us.
Oh,
yeah,
right there.
Yeah,
absolutely. But yeah, if we're going to pick something that would definitely be just a moment that happened throughout the week, I definitely do agree with Chef, and it's the Cena heel turn. You know, not that we haven't
everything I've ever wanted in wrestling and never knew.
You know, I just wish, you know, and I'll continue to say this, I loved it. It was very well done. I just wish we would have gotten it sooner to where it could have been a time where it actually had an industry impact. Like the Hogan heel turn did. And anybody,
I would rather have, honestly, sorry, 1 second. I would rather have Cody heel and face Cena, but I'm okay with this.
I mean, like I said, I felt like this was always the beginning of planting seeds towards a Cody heel turn, and just the fact that he was asked shows that he's somewhere he's weak. It does make you question certain things now. Like, you could see he was conflicted all the way up to that moment.
Right.
And that's something to consider. There's still a lot there that we don't know. Like I said last week with everything, we're only seeing pieces of the puzzle. And now we have a good idea of what that picture looks like. But we still don't know.
Who else out there has Rock? Who else out there is Rock given the same proposal to behind closed doors?
Like I said, it would be interesting if one of those people was Seth Rollins. Because Punk wouldn't have fallen in line. We 100%. I can make a case for Drew. The Rock broke the news when Drew re-signed. They had that moment backstage. There's little connections there to where Cena, when he has to leave, Drew becomes the next guy in line. But you have to do something with Cena at the moment for WrestleMania.
Yeah. Right.
And even then, still, can be a passing of the torch moment still. I'm very interested to see how the fans in Vegas react at WrestleMania. It is all good there, Ryan. We were just talking about our matches of the week. Mine being the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship match from Raw. Shep's being the men's elimination chamber. And what was yours over there? This guy?
Fatu Andrade from SmackDown.
Fatu and Andrade. If anybody in the chat has their match of the week, feel free to drop it in the chat because, everybody has something. And I'm just really happy with this graphic, though, I gotta say. Like, until I thought it was original and it wasn't, but whatever.
It's all good.
It's just a ransom letter.
Still real to me.
But I really do have a question. Why is Lego Me standing in the matchstick?
Because it's hot.
Damn ginger. Even
ain't got no soul to burn.
But this does really feel like I'll say about the whole Cena thing at this choice was the women's chamber match. I could feel the urgency and the Jade spot. The match was good, but I feel like the highlight of that match is everything that happened with Jade, and that was in the very beginning. They even orchestrated it to the point that it took up the first 5 minutes of the match so that they could get her out of there and we get the next person in. I was kind of hoping just for Jade to take her spot at that point. Like, well, I took her out. You took my championship from me, so now I'm taking your opportunity from you. Jade doesn't have to win the match. You get kind of that moment with her and Bianca in the match. Because, again, I will say it, Bianca Belair deserves an Oscar for that performance in the pod. And even after the show, during the post thing, they interviewed her at the table in the arena itself. And even she said, I had no idea what was going on. So she's literally also in the dark, which means Jade might not trust her neither. Because why would you leave her in the dark? There's a lot of this, like those little minor things that WWE's been really good at recently to have small details.
All right. Well, do we got anything else to discuss here, gentlemen?
Well, while we are here, as always, check out Spocast tomorrow night, 7 p.m. SpoWrestling.com.
Do you have a graphic for that?
All that stuff. There's some new announcements for stuff. To reintegrate first, March 13th, the press conference at Phoenix Bar and Grill in Ashton Township, where we will find out who Tay-Rock and Velcro's opponents will be, with Nail the Hood, Prince Charming there, and Lavari, who, and I believe both will be performing. And then some talent announcements for the 25th anniversary show for the Backseat brand for SPO. We have Angel Metro, who will be there. We have just recently Vinny Pacifico booked for the show, which, by the way, just real quick, these graphics, absolutely amazing. Go back to this one real quick. Like, just really well done. You know, I love this one because of the Eagles riot in the background. Just great. You know, we have Simon Gotch, who will be once again.
Looks like Gotch is going to be getting some good cooking back there.
Yeah, right. I'm just really interested in how that person got the shopping cart with the roasted pig in it through TSA.
Hey, TSA knows good food when they see it.
Hold on,
Yeah, Milky, we don't miss one. We haven't missed one since the very first. The very first none of us were at. We were all at the second one. And everyone since.
And then from the NWA, we have Ruthie J, my bad. All Smiles, Ruthie J returns to Harris and Spo Wrestling.
It's quite the pink stretch Hummer there.
Yeah. And these graphics brought to you by Eclipse Graphics.
For all your graphics needs.
But yeah, we got some exciting wrestling going on this week. Tomorrow night, we have the WWE World Women's Championship to be decided, which I'm expecting Rhea to retain.
Yeah, fully.
100%. I'm hoping
Should be a
that
good
we
match
get
with Io. Yeah, it'll be a good match, but yeah, there's no way that Rhea's losing this and not getting that main event spot at WrestleMania.
I'm hoping we get Cody and or Cena this week.
We should. I would say SmackDown is the more likely spot where we see them. Although there's a chance that they pop up on Raw just because it's Monday night.
And I mean also with the idea of WrestleMania around the corner, the show's crossing over of certain storylines that might need that time, like Cody appearing on Raw, just because he has to respond to about what happened immediately. It makes sense.
But he's not the Raw champion though. That's Gunther. So.
Oh yeah, and I mean I expect that whatever to continue with him and Jay.
Yeah. Well, we got to
remember
that
Cena's got limited dates.
Yes.
We also have a World Tag Team Championship match with American Made and the War Raiders. I think there's a 50-50 chance American Made could win this.
I would like to see American Made. I would like to see American Made win it. I think I'm not a big fan of the War Raiders.
I love the War Raiders.
I
like them better.
They're a tag team.
I love them back in ROH.
Yeah, they're rebuilding back from before Vince butchered them and made them the Viking Raiders or Viking Experience.
That's when I was introduced to them. I was introduced to them as Vikings.
No, you missed a lot.
Yeah.
They were amazing in Ring of Honor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I loved them in NXT.
Yeah, there's a new episode of LFG tonight. I still gotta watch last week's episode. I did watch the first episode. I really enjoy it. It's like the Voice meets Tough Enough.
I think they'll lose the belts. I think Chad Gable's quest for gold, his disciples' quest for gold. I think they'll pull it off. As much as I would hate to see it, I think the Creeds are going to beat the War Raiders.
I bet The Rock did say that Cena had hopped on a plane to go back to filming, so maybe we get something recorded from him, maybe, if anything, or
so that's why you only had time to drop the microphone.
Yeah, right. But yeah, another good episode this week, gentlemen.
All right.
Let me check AEW for this upcoming week stuff, because all I've said haven't said much of anything about this week for them, which isn't surprising, right? Because we have Wheeler, Yuta, and Cope coming up.
Basically
and
feeding Wheeler
Ricochet has Swerve at Revolution is also going to be a number one contenders match for the World Championship.
Right.
I forgot to mention that earlier. Not much has really been announced for Dynamite yet this week. But when we know something before the shows, myself, who's been doing it more recently, or BJ here, will be dropping our previews for shows and stuff like that into the shorts. We'll be dropping them like John Cena drops a mic. I pick up my mic and drop it at the moment. Well, that's what John Cena did to Cody. Oh, you just had to have like that martial arts sound effect, right?
Yes.
This is the time where we go off the rails now. So, guys, let me get the controller here. I'm just taking the show off the rails. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing it. I'm winning. And my controller's
It's
not
in the
even
other
plugged
room.
in. Well, dude, you're not winning then. You're hashtag losing.
I'm winning harder.
I'm winning hardest.
I already won.
The who, the her.
Y'all are competing for second.
Botched Mania BJ style. Well, everybody, as always, thank you, as always, for tuning in. Keep putting good out there into the world. It's needed more now than ever. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you saw anything today that you liked, so you don't miss any content.
Not just that. Leave a comment, share, tell your friends, do all that stuff.
Travel to the past. Build a time machine, travel to the past, and tell your friends about this show, however many years into the future. All right.
Get us followers before we get started.
Yes, that this is even bigger now than ever, you know. Like, we will alter the timelines. Well, bro, if you're already in the future, you better be telling everybody in the past. Like, that doesn't help us now. We need to help now.
You won't
No,
be
not
next
really.
week.
Because we're
when
at
we set the
now.
clocks.
Yeah, we're at now. Then isn't now yet.
Soon.
When will then be now?
Never.
I knew it. I'm surrounded by assholes. Keep
Yo.
plugging, assholes.
Speaking of which, hold on.
Oh,
Appropriate time for show and tell.
Oh,
Air.
how much do you want for it? What do you want for that?
It is not for sale.
your soul.
It is not for sale.
I don't have a
It's my
soul, damn it.
unopened. It's my unopened can of
look.
Perrier.
That is
I
amazing.
will give
Is there
you
an expiration
Chef's
date on
soul.
that?
No, I
No.
am dead serious right now. Live on YouTube. What do you want for that?
It's not for sale.
Well, if it ever is, I'm first in line, or else I'm going to super kick you like your name's Stan.
Can I interest you in an antique can of Schmitz?
Oh, God. Wow. Is that a screw top?
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
also a
wait,
screw
I don't
job.
know.
That's
Yeah,
what it is.
That's an oil can.
That's an oil can.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. My Perrier is not for sale. I'm going to need it when everything goes down.
Look.
Yeah.
You ever change your mind, you come to me first, or else we're going to have problems and there's going to be heat between us. That's all I'm saying.
I might be able to find more of them. The event where I got these, I know a lot of people who were at that event, and they might have grabbed a couple. I might be able to get.
Well,
might
sir,
be-
we have video evidence that will be recorded on YouTube telling you that you get rid of that one. I want first dibs, and that you can find that you could possibly find more, and I am interested in that. That is all I'm saying. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. As always, it's been fun. We appreciate the support, like we said. Don't forget to like and subscribe down below, comment, all that beautiful stuff. Because, well, we can't do it for ourselves because we already did. Keep the good going in the world. Lego Me will see y'all through. Ladies and gentlemen, as always, thank you for tuning in.
So long, folks.
Ah! All right, who's hitting
Take us
this?
out.
Me?
Oh, I thought you were going to hit the button. You were doing the outro.
Hit the
Do we
button.
have an outro?
Oh, the
Yeah,
outro.
yeah.
Yeah,
Who's
yeah,
going to
yeah.
hit the button?
Somebody hit the
Oh, I
button.
Where's the button?
Even in the future, nothing works.
Button.
So,
Who's got the button?
appropriately enough, outro by Primal Fear.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder, Matthew Omen. We are All Fight, No Fight, Primal Fear. And you're watching BJ and DG Talk Wrestling. Yeah!